College football semifinals games are insane. The College Football Playoff Committee, the pollsters, all the so-called experts, they had almost got it completely spectacularly wrong. They built a bracket that looked like a pristine architectural blueprint, and then a 10 seed stormed the castle and tore the whole thing to shreds. The old guard is gone. Georgia sent packing. The defending champs, my Ohio State Buckeyes, dethroned. Alabama, not just beaten, utterly dismantled. What we're left with is chaos, and it's beautiful. We have a true Cinderella and a jilted lover story in one corner. Teams that weren't even supposed to get an invitation to the dance is now just one win from playing for it all. And in the other corner, an absolute crash of titans in a rematch that's been brewing for months. The stage is set for two of the most unpredictable, high-stakes semifinal games we've ever seen. So who's going to survive and advance to Miami Gardens for a shot at the national title? Let's get into it. The Road Warriors versus the offensive juggernaut, the Fiesta Bowl. First up on Thursday, January 8th, we head to the desert for the matchup nobody saw coming, the number 10 Hurricanes versus number 6 Ole Miss Rebels. This is a legitimate clash of styles, a battle of football philosophies that could not be more different. Miami's defense put on an absolute masterclass, holding my Buckeyes to just 14 points in a stunning 24-14 upset. Miami forged its identity in the fires of doubt. They don't win pretty. They win with grit. Miami's defense is like a boa constrictor. It doesn't just stop you. It slowly squeezes the life and the hope out of every offense it faces. They're allowing just 13.5 points per game in a playoff against two top 10 opponents. That's not just good. That's championship level. They thrive in chaos. They live off of turnovers. And they have the swagger of a team that believes they can beat anyone, anywhere, because they've already done it twice. And I'm sick and tired of seeing those old Hurricanes like Michael Irvin on the sideline. I hope they get their butts whooped. And then you have their opponent. While Miami is winning with steel curtain, Ole Miss is winning with lightning storm. The Rebels have been walking fireworks show the entire postseason. They opened playoffs by dropping 41 points on Tulane. Then they went down to the Superdome and hung 39 on number 3 Georgia. Their offense is like a pinball machine with points lighting up the board from every angle. They are explosive, creative, and have playmakers all over the field, and especially at Trinidad Chambliss, who can turn any touch into a touchdown. They showed incredible resilience against Georgia, proving they can win in a shootout. So, the million-dollar question for the Fiesta Bowl is simple. What gives? Can Miami's elite battle-hardened defense impose its will on yet another high-powered offense, or will the sheer volume and firepower of the Ole Miss attack just be too much to handle? The betting line is fascinating. Despite the 10 seed, Miami is actually the favorite. The experts are leaning their way, too, with most believing Miami's defensive magic will continue for one more week. It's the ultimate test. Can the Cinderella defense stop a jilted lover? The rematch of the Titans. That's the Peach Bowl. Now let's flip over to the other side of the bracket, to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl on Friday, January 9th. If the first game is a clash of styles, this one is a straight-up heavyweight title fight, a battle of Goliaths. The number 5 Oregon Ducks versus the undefeated number 1 Indiana Hoosiers. And folks, this one is personal. It's a rematch. Let's start with the king of the hill, the Indiana Hoosiers. There's no debate. They've been the best team in college football all season long. They're undefeated Big Ten champions. They earned their first round bye, got to rest up, and then welcomed number 9 Alabama to the Rose Bowl for the quarterfinals. What happened next wasn't a game, it was a statement. Indiana utterly annihilated Alabama in a 38-3 beatdown that sent shockwaves through the sport. The team is led by a certified superstar and quarterback Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner. He's like a surgeon with a football, operating with a level of poise and precision that methodically cuts defenses apart. But don't get it twisted. This Indiana team isn't just a flashy offense. Their defense is a unit that held Alabama to a single field goal. They are dominant, disciplined, and physical on both sides of the ball. And standing in their way as a team on a mission of vengeance, the Oregon Ducks. Oregon has only one blemish on their record all year. That loss, it came in October 11th at home a 30-20 defeat to the very same Indiana Hoosiers. Since that day, Oregon has looked like a different animal. They've been playing with a fury, and they are peaking at the absolute perfect time. They started their playoff run by putting up a staggering 51 points on James Madison, but they did it in the quarterfinals is even more impressive. They went to the Hard Rock Stadium and pitched a shutout, blanking the Big 12 champion Texas Tech Red Raiders 23-0. That's right, a Power 5 champ couldn't even get on the scoreboard against this Oregon Duck defense. And their quarterback, Dante Moore, is an elite talent himself, a projected top pick who can go toe-to-toe with anyone. This sets up the most compelling storyline of the semifinals. What did Oregon learn from that loss back in October? Their defense is playing at a completely different level now. Can that revitalized unit contain a Heisman winner who has already solved them once? On the flip side, can Indiana's defense, which looked like the '85 Bears, since I'm from Chicago, reincarnated against Bama, do it against Dante Moore and an offense averaging 37 points a game in the playoffs? Now, the odds makers have Indiana as a slight favorite, but the experts are much more split. This is the definition of a toss-up. It's strength on strength, star quarterback versus star quarterback, and a revenge narrative versus a quest for perfection. It just doesn't get any better. So here's my final predictions and why. All right, enough analysis. It's prediction time. Who's going to win the national championship? In the Fiesta Bowl, defense travels, and defense wins championships. We have watched this team go into two of the most hostile environments in college football and win the same exact formula, grit and defense. Ole Miss offense is terrifying, no doubt, but they've been playing the game on all-pro difficulty. And facing this Miami defense is like switching the setting to legendary. It's a completely different level of challenge. They haven't faced a team with the sheer belief and momentum that Miami has right now. Now, it's going to be a 4-quarter war. The clock strikes midnight for most Cinderellas, but I think this one has one more dance left in it. Give me Ole Miss, the jilted lover. It's just something about them since Kiffin left. They're on a mission. Now for the Peach Bowl. And this is the toughest call on the board. The heart wants to pick the revenge story. Oregon is playing lights out football, and them exercising their only demon to make the title game is a fantastic narrative. Their defense is legit, and Dante Moore is more than capable of winning this game. However, my head tells me not to bet against perfection. I'm taking the Indiana Hoosiers. The proof is in the pudding. They are undefeated for a reason. They already beat this Oregon team once on the road. They had a bye week to get healthy. They had the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, and they just delivered the single most dominant performance of the entire season by crushing Alabama 38-3. It'll be a nail-biter, a one-score game, but I believe Fernando Mendoza makes one more play than Dante Moore does. Indiana survives and keeps its perfect season alive. Now, that would set up the ultimate championship showdown. The Ole Miss versus Indiana Hoosiers. The scrappy underdog against the flawless Titans. A storybook ending, no matter who wins. But that's just my take. What's yours? Drop your predictions for both semifinal games in the comments below. Are you riding with the jilted love in Ole Miss or the offensive firepower of Indiana? Who wins the heavyweight matchup? You're going to say Oregon or Indiana. Let me know who you got playing for the national title. So there you have it. A Cinderella story that refuses to end and a heavyweight rematch for the ages. It is going to be an absolutely insane week of college football, and I can't wait to watch it all unfold. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe because you are not going to want to miss our breakdown of the national championship game right here. For Anwar, Dan, and myself, we'll see you then.